trying to see if
She's gonna act shy now.
He better stay like he wants to eating that cake, because what he got over here, he ain't ready for this. This is
Asia, got way more cake than that.
Asia, stop. You know good and goddamn well you don't got enough experience for Eddie.
Cut it out. Are you kidding me? Eddie ain't ready for this.
You don't got enough vacation days.
I've actually asked Eddie.
You had to cancel. You had to cancel.
And went silent.
You had to
cancel.
Listen, you have to cancel your December trip.
Oh please!
Use all your vacation days fucking with Eddie. Stop.
Opposite. The opposite. That's why he got silent.
You already told us you don't tongue kiss.
I never said that.
Oh, you said if somebody lick your ass, you wouldn't kiss him after.
But I'm a tongue kiss before you, though. Before you do that, I'm gonna tongue kiss the mess out of you.
Nigga.
Bruh.
Scary as hell.
They don't know how to tongue kiss anymore, though. They don't know how to tongue kiss. They sit there and try to stab you. Stab you with the tongue. No, be passionate and sensual with your tongue when you kissing me.
No, I think you got to take.
You don't know what to do with a no Q dog tongue. Ryan like a mug. I'll have your social security before I leave your house.
Eddie.
Go to hell, Eddie. I don't have social security, nigga. I don't have social security. What you talking about?
Eddie. They be like, Asia, why you limping? He be like, huh? Tear your ass up, girl.
And the nigga that talks like that ain't working with nothing.
I'm talking. He ain't even say nothing. I've been talking.
I haven't said a thing.
I've been saying it. See, that's how. See, you don't even know.
He's co-signed it though. He ain't say nothing different, and he ain't been in my DMs. He ain't listen. Maybe he ain't busted great, but it's cool. It's all good. I get it. Scary money don't make money. I get it. I like it. You probably should be scared.
I will knock that Maya Angelou hat off your head.
What happens over here in Southeast? Nigga, you ain't ready.
I like Asia. I love when you talk slang because it's really mid-90s always.
Yeah.
You talk slang like B. B, what up?
What's good, homie?
Shut up. Go to hell.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
B, we told you stop talking slang. I'm gonna try this again. B, what's good?
Good evening.
There you go. Better. Eddie, what up though?
Just over here listening to these liars.
Yo. Wow.
Asia, what's good? Why you changing? I changed your name to Asia.
Because that's not my name. My name is Love. I love. I love love. I exude love. I am love. I'm the essence of love.
Yeah, I hope you love mutant.
Like, you know.
I hope you love mutant too. Chief, what's good?
Yo, what's happening? This shit is pure comedy. How y'all doing?
You see the shit I gotta deal with, man. They couldn't find the link earlier. Niggas drunk, all types of shit, man.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit
Mary
like
was
that,
good.
Shit like that.
What's up, everybody? Oh yeah, listen. You see?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What's up, Gary? Yes.
That shirt is dope, bro. Alex, see Alex.
What you about to say now, here? Because I already know. Go ahead.
I ain't gonna say. I'm trying to be more mature, but what's up with your hair? Why you got your shit?
I'm getting my hair done on Sunday, still pressed. Y'all go for next week. Don't act confused when you see it, okay?
Yo, B, the only reason why Alex put anything on her head because she in trouble up there. That's the only reason.
No, it's nighttime. It's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, all right. Christine, how are you? Welcome.
Hey, how are you? I'm happy to be here.
Damn, you the first person that asked me how I'm doing back. I appreciate that.
Oh,
Eddie, thanks for inviting her.
Lies.
Yeah, you're right. Adrian does too.
No, I asked you earlier, Hamp. It's all good.
Good. When we live though, you don't show me. You know what I mean? That's different.
Yeah, I know. You're right. You don't deserve it live.
Wow.
Eris, what up though?
What up? How y'all doing?
Now, what's your hat mean? You straight? You like wearing hats or you?
I just like wearing hats. I like accessorizing, so you're gonna see the accessories.
All right. I can dig it. Q was good.
Trying to post to my story to let motherfuckers know we streaming right now.
But yeah, everybody take a minute and use them smartphones. Like, share, subscribe, hit the like button. Share the stream real quick to one person. You know what I mean? Repost on your Instagram if you're popular, shit like that, man.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
All right, I think this is gonna be a good one.
No, hold on. Yeah.
What up?
Where the fuck my shirt at?
What shirt?
That this might be risky joint. Wait.
Did I send it to you?
I ain't get no shirt.
Q, your mic going in and out.
Chat. He sent the link in the chat.
Q, your mic going in and out. Q, I can't really hear you that good.
Nigga. So there's a link, Mary?
So we're gonna do what we can.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm trying to get this baby to stop crying. Nah, Q, I got you. I'll send it soon. I mean, yeah, man, everybody doing good. I'm feeling good. So I got a couple different topics, but the headline topic is women love men conditionally. So we're gonna chop this up a little bit. Eris, what you smirking about?
Interesting title. I'm just taking it all in.
You ready to rock? All right, I can dig it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let me share my screen. Second.
She went on a girls' trip. She's going for 20 days. So I've been packing the kids' lunch. She's going for 20 days.
20 days? Bro, that's not a vacation. That's not a girls' trip. Bro, y'all separated. 21 days, that's long enough to claim residency. Bro, she getting mail at that new location. And she left the kids. That's child abandonment. Bro, at this point, some of you dudes just gotta go ahead and admit it. Y'all ain't husbands. You're just her sponsor.
Of course, my wife is
Y'all familiar with this?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Mhm.
not. I'm in.
So DJ Envy, you already know his wife said she wasn't being pleased by him. She put it in a book and all that. They also mentioned they was doing role playing. Somebody even said this might be joking, but he said he role played. He was Denzel. He role played. He was Barack and shit like that. But to get their bedroom spicy. But she said in 10 years, or it wasn't more than that, that she never had an orgasm. But she said she liked it, but she said she wasn't coming. So she hit him with that. That's crazy.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
And then she went on a girls' trip for 20 days, which is insane to me. He making lunches. I think they even got a new baby. Like, I think the baby might be like under 1 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So remember, he also way before that came out and admitted to cheating live on the broadcast on the Breakfast Club, and he probably been pandering ever since. So I could have asked the simp question, but I wanted to go maybe a little bit deeper. So my question is, are most men actually beta males? Are most men actually beta males? Mary, I never start with Mary. What you think, Mary?
To me, it's a tough one because I don't feel like the majority. I feel like they out there, a lot of them, but I don't think it's the majority.
So you don't think most men are beta males?
No, I don't.
Why is that?
Because I feel like there is a lot more manly men out there. Like,
now, I vaguely remember you having an argument with B about his generation not protecting y'all in the clubs like people my age used to when we was outside.
right, they're bitches. But again, I said I feel like the majority.
A man's a bitch. Would he be a beta?
Bruh.
Possibly. Like,
this is why I don't start with Mary. She gotta let this shit marinate first. Mary, mute your fucking mic, please.
Let me go. Let me hit it.
Nope.
Let me hit it.
Alex.
I gotta think about it here.
Hold on. I love Eris' face every time I be talking shit. She be like, what the fuck? Alex, what you think, Alex?
I gotta think about it.
Let me hit it. I want to hit it.
Hey, we have guests on the show, y'all. Don't embarrass me, please.
Sorry, y'all.
They didn't even introduce themselves. I'm already embarrassed for you.
No, we did introduce them. We talked to them earlier. All right, let me get a male perspective. Chief.
Camp. Real.
Yeah.
Are most men actually beta males? Look at Asia.
I think so.
Word.
I definitely think so.
Break that down.
Most men, I'd say a lot of men are hiding behind the alpha title, but don't know how to carry themselves in that way. I definitely say so. A lot of men seek validation within what they get from other people, from other men, other women, some women, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So oftentimes, like for example, the dude who out there, bagging and tagging him, knocking him down, he label himself an alpha, but all he doing is getting a bunch of pussy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what gives him his stature and his identity, but that's not really how an alpha male carries himself.
If you gain now, what do you mean by stature? Like amongst his boys' stature?
That's to him. To him, the hierarchy of manhood is how many joints you could bag and do what you do. You know what I'm saying? So, to some men, that's enough to convince them that they're alpha males.
Gotcha. Now, does the amount of chicks you smash matter at all to the hierarchy?
To those in that circle, yeah.
So it's only a micro thing.
Yeah, but the circle is huge.
Yeah.
The circle is huge depending upon who you associate yourself with.
Do you think most men respect a man that got a lot of bodies?
I think so. I think so because there's a lot of it's a matter of who you circle yourself with, because there's a lot of dudes out here who get a lot of bodies and don't take care of them kids, but then they got a bunch of friends around who don't check them on the cats who don't take care of them kids. So
wow, yeah,
all the betas hanging together, not checking each other, and holding each other accountable. Think about it, the cats we hang with. How many of us don't take care of our kids?
No, none.
Right. So we're not in that circle. But again, it depends on what circle you're in.
That's fair. That's a good breakdown. All right, Alex, I'm coming back. God damn it.
Okay, I think I'm ready. All right.
Go ahead.
I think it depends on.
Chief, sit your ass down. This is a production. You know what? God damn it.
I had to turn the ceiling fan on, bro. It's hot in here. This ring light hot to the moment. Come out.
My bad. Go ahead, Alex.
I think it depends on the circle. Within every group, I think there's a leader. I think depending on who they're around, roles can change. I've noticed in friend groups there are always leaders in that, and you can have a group of quote unquote beta, but out of that group, someone is the lead. Someone is the lead of the friend group in a pack of or a group of males. When I think about in relation to their partners, like in an intimate relationship, I do think a lot of men are beta. I really just think it depends on the circle and the situation that they're placed in as a whole.
Alex, are most men actually beta males?
Yes, Ham.
Okay. But you're saying circumstances can change, right?
Yes.
But if somebody's beta in one instance, they can be alpha in another, you think?
I think so. I think among the group, right? If you have a group of individuals, someone is naturally going to become the leader. They're naturally going to be the alpha of the group. Now, they may not be the best leader. It may not be a group of strong candidates, but in comparison to the rest of them, they are the lead of the individuals that they are around.
But would that automatically makes the other men in that group beta?
Compared to the other ones, I would say yes.
Oh, if somebody's the leader because of the circumstance, like for instance, on our flag football team, Chief was the leader of our flag football team. He was the captain. He put everything together. So you're saying in that instance, as a hypothetical, I would be constituted as a beta in that instance?
Y'all can't be the leader on the team.
But are you saying the only way you qualify as a beta is to be our alpha is to be the leader in that circumstance?
In that example, I would say yes. That's what I'm saying. I think it can change depending on the scenario and the setting that you're in.
So you're saying it's like a pack of lions then?
That's how I think about it, yeah. Or wolves would be better off.
Well, there's more than one male wolf, though, in that pack. I'm saying lions because there's only one male, period. So I guess wolves might be
out of the wolves, you have multiple males, right? But one of them is the leader of the pack.
Okay. Cool. Asia, what you think?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Are most men actually beta males? Absolutely. I think, and I said this months ago, there's a lot of beta males dressed up in alpha clothes. And the problem is that a lot of men think they're betas. I mean, think they're alpha, but they're really beta. They don't even know what an alpha is. And so they put on this false bravado. They put on this a lot of machismo. They overcompensate by the toxic masculinity behaviors that we discussed before. And they're really betas. And I won't even blame them. I blame the forefathers, because a lot of men don't know how to be alphas. They weren't raised. They don't know how to be an alpha. They don't even know what alpha is. Some men think alpha is exerting a lot of power over someone. It's not an alpha. Alpha male comes naturally. You don't have to be a brute. You don't have to exert brute force. You don't have to lord your power over people to be an alpha. I was in a group of men one day, and they were all different types of Africans. And the one, he didn't even speak much, but his pure presence, I said, he's the leader. He didn't even speak at all. A lot of different men talking, trying to have this false bravado, trying to bag different girls, talking about who has more, who has this, who has that. I saw him, and his pure presence exuded as the leader and the alpha.
How do you make them beta? Like, what makes them? How do you know they're faking and they're betas if they do have all these traits? You like, how do you constitute them as beta?
So there's no need to brag or convince someone else you're an alpha. If you have to convince someone you're an alpha, you're probably not an alpha.
So bragging makes you beta?
Yes, just be you. Your sheer existence, your sheer presence exudes something. No matter who you are and what you are, your energy exudes in the room or wherever you're at. And so you may have a lot of men that may have maybe material things. That does not make you an alpha.
Mm-hmm.
You may have a lot of men that, like you said earlier, bag a bunch of girls. That does not make you an alpha.
Chief said.
Thank you. Chief, I'm agreeing with Chief. That doesn't make you an alpha. And so, you know, you have a bunch of men in different rooms bragging about, yeah, I had her, I had hundreds, I had this. You're a pure beta because you identify, and your manlyhood is identified by things that are aberrations.
So can you be broke and be an alpha?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So you have to have.
Wait, but let me ask you this: broke in what way? Because I'm thinking broken spirit, not broken money. So
like money. I didn't say broke in, broke.
Yeah, you know, I get it. So if you don't have a lot of money compared to the next, you can still be an alpha.
No, like you actually broke.
Well, I mean, broke is relative, Ham. Because if I'm comparing myself to someone,
$30,000 is broke. Go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you. You gave me a point of reference.
All right, go ahead.
You can still be an alpha. You can be an alpha in your family because people fall on hard times, right? And so maybe anything could have happened. Anything could have happened. So if I'm looking at this static point in time, and this man is making $30,000 a year because something unfortunate happened, he can still be an alpha in how he carries himself. But you better believe a year from now, 6 months from now, he's going to be back on top financially. But also the alpha is also in your spirit. It's not just monetary. You got a lot of betas with a lot of money, and they want to throw their money around. So it's not just
so I'm clear, you're saying if you're braggadocious, if you have and you flaunt it, those things make you a beta male.
That makes me look at you and question, yeah, you must be a beta, because if you have what you say you have, there's no need to brag and be braggadocious and lord it over people. You just exist. Just be.
Okay.
I got money.
What if they say he has it and then what if he has it and then actually has it?
I'm sorry, say it again.
What if he says he has it and then he also actually has it? But you're saying if you brag about it, that makes you a beta?
Right. So why is he saying it? Like, if you got it, just Just exist. You don't have to sit there and brag like, I got $10 million in the bank. Are you trying to convince me or you? Are you trying to put that in the forefront because you have nothing else going for you? You see what I'm saying? Like, you have nothing else going for you, but you put in the forefront, I got $10 million in the bank. Who are you? Because when that money goes away, then who are you? That's why niggas be sitting there, be ending themselves, because who they put themselves or what they put themselves behind is gone. You have to know who you are and what you actually stand for.
All right, that's fair. I mean, I don't know if it's fair, but I understand your point.
Thank you.
Can I
Harris was good. Go ahead. And then
so I just
Harris after.
No, so because I'm listening and we're correlating beta and alpha to leaders and followers. So I just let me get Webster's definition, right?
Yep.
So the book says having the highest rank or dominance in hierarchy, or being, this is alpha obviously, or being the most dominant, powerful, or assertive person in a particular group. When I look up beta, all it says is the second highest grade or mark, and everything else is relative to astronomy. But under alpha, it says also see alpha male, but beta doesn't say also see beta male. So it's interesting the dynamics of it, because beta is not attributed to man. It's more astrology. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of, I thought that was pretty interesting to me.
No, that is interesting. Do you think that we maybe use it as a how you say it, colloquially kind of?
Well, I mean, because it is second, so beta would definitely come after alpha. Alpha in the Greek is alpha is first and beta is second. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it came from. But I just wanted to see if the dictionary labeled it as you know, as we kind of portray it to be, because it doesn't have any beta in regards to what this is saying. Doesn't have any humanistic qualities to it, but alpha does.
Yeah. So I think it is something. I think it is something that was generated maybe by YouTube almost, right? The conversations that happened. But people understand what we mean by it, so I think it applies, even though Webster didn't quite catch up to YouTube yet, I guess. But it's interesting though how it defines alpha. That's interesting.
Being the most dominant, powerful, or assertive person in a particular group.
Okay.
So it does sound like it also could be circumstantial, like, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Depending upon the environment and where you are. So like if I'm coming to for example, if I'm coming around your way, Hamp, I'm letting you lead the way. So in that moment, you represent the alpha. You come around my way, the roles reverse. You know what I'm saying? But so I guess it's circumstantial.
Mm-hmm. And but I think that if you come around my way or vice versa, we also have to be capable of leading it, right?
True, very true.
Okay, Eris, what you think?
So I'm gonna assume we talking about black men, right?
Yeah, always. The people of the Caucasus Mountains mean nothing on this.
All right, listen, this is my first time, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, I just want to clarify. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So when it comes to the men that we're talking about, for me, black men are not beta males. Like they're not. Their makeup is not that of a beta male. Because to me, if that was the case, they wouldn't be hunted the way they are. You understand? Like people wouldn't be trying to take y'all out if y'all was not the ones with the power. So that's the way I look at it. Now, do you assume the power in all situations? No, right? But for me, black men are the ultimate alpha males. It's just a matter of operating in it or not.
Okay, but even the ones that ain't taking care of their kids?
Yeah, because you have it. For me, you're born with that. Like as a black man, you are born with it. You might not be operating in it. And a lot of my sisters on here were speaking to that, like circumstantial and whatever, maybe trauma you've gone through or whatever. There's a reason why you're not walking in that. But for me, when you're born and you're black, you have the ability to step into that. Now it's your choice whether or not you want to step into it or not.
Okay.
Shit like that.
Interesting. Christine, what up?
Hey. So interesting perspectives. I like to sit back and observe. But anyway, when I first heard you ask the question, it made me think like, that's relative, because for me, I'm thinking about like my experiences, the people I interact with, my circles. I feel like most of the men that I interact with are alpha males, but that also could be relative to my circle and the type of people I hang around, So I think that, yes, depending on some of the circumstances of like where people are, yes, the roles could change, but just because you're in someone's town or like with somebody's crowd, and they are the leader at that time, I still don't think that means that their friends are not alpha as well. So I think for me, it's all about perspective and what you've experienced, who you've been around. So like the people I've been around, I look at them as alpha males for the most part. And I mean, I think about my father, alpha male, like leader, but not like overly aggressive with it, like, and I also think that being an alpha to one person might mean and look like something different from what an alpha looks like to someone else. For me, an alpha male can mean he's a strong leader. He looks out for me. He can guide me. He teaches me things. To someone else, an alpha might mean, oh, he has money and he can do X, Y, and Z, So I think that's also relative. I like the fact that Chief brought in the Webster dictionary meaning of the word. So, but I still think it's relative, like how different people look at it.
Yeah. So you believe that an alpha can follow another alpha and still be alpha in an instance?
Because if you're wise, then you're going to want to constantly be growing and learning, which that's what most alpha men would do if they were, smart.
Word. Okay. I got you. B, what you think?
Well, if we're gonna talk about circles and stuff like that, a lot of the men that I hang around, I would say portray themselves as alphas. So I would say, to answer the question, I would say no. A lot of the men that I hang around, they are leaders. Just from talking to them and hanging out with them, they're constantly giving back to their community in some way, shape, or form. They're helping the elderly. They're helping the kids at their job. They're either supervisors or the actual boss. And they're family men. They're giving back to their families. They're giving back to their communities. So I would say, to answer the question, no, based upon a lot of the men that I hang around.
Now, B, you said the word portray. Did you mean to use that word?
Okay, so no, I didn't mean to use that word. A lot of the men that I hang around, I'm just trying to find another word for portray. That's just the first word that came to my mind.
Saying they exude those qualities?
They exude. Yes.
Okay, so you saying it's just your circle, or are you more along with Eris, where black men have it in them, they just got to bring it out?
I would say there's two parts to that. Yes, it's the circle that I hang around, but there are some men that I do know is beta. Like this one guy that I work with, straight beta. Like there's no man in him, but I can see to where I see great potential in him to where he can be that leader. He can be that boss. He can be that supervisor. He can get his family's affairs and issues together.
Hold on, B. You just said there's no man in the nigga, but you can see it coming out.
Well, hold on. Let me rephrase that. What I'm saying is what I'm saying is I can see to where he could one day stand up for himself. It's not in him to do it right now. He just needs someone to pull it out of him. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, he can be a beta and not be tough. I mean, you can still stick up for yourself and still be able to. You can learn how to fist fight, I guess. You could take up a class or some shit. You still be a beta.
I'm not talking about like anything physically. I'm just talking about standing up for yourself. If someone was to disrespect you, how would you address that issue?
Well, so do you respect him still? When you said this man's character, he ain't got no man in him, but all of a sudden he want to come in and poke his chest out and be alpha. You respect him? You give him that you give him that alpha respect?
I mean, my thing is at work, I'm gonna remain professional regardless. I mean,
we recorded an episode. You was wilding at work. All right, so
I was wilding at work. What does wilding at work have to do with anything?
You said remain professional. Just slow down. Question: do you believe that women can be alpha?
No, absolutely not. There's no.
But they can
alpha female. That's a whole bunch of bullshit.
But not to go down that not to go down that road. But they can still stick up for themselves, right?
Absolutely.
So a beta man can still stick up for himself. Doesn't going to make him alpha automatically.
I get that point you're trying to make.
Saying?
Yeah.
Look at Eris. Hold on, Asia. Hold on. All right, go ahead. It's quick, Asia.
It probably wouldn't turn quick. I just wanted to I just had a question.
Go ahead.
I really just want to know from B, what is your definition of alpha then? Because if the guy you're talking about at your job doesn't stand up for himself, that makes him a beta. So and as long Hamp's lines of questioning, if she can stand up for herself, that makes her an alpha. I'm just trying to get your understanding of what an actually alpha is.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so you said she.
No, he's saying what is an alpha? She's saying what is an alpha to you?
To me, it's a man. I gave several examples earlier, but I guess I can go back through them. But I did. You just weren't paying attention. But I can go back through them.
And then when I come off mute and I sit there and come at him, you go sit there and say I'm interrupting him. You're not making any sense. You're talking in circles. You're not making any sense whatsoever. And I'm trying to make it very clear.
Come on, let him go.
Audience understand.
Let him go. Go ahead, B. Just give.
I won't, because it's every episode she's always interrupting. So I won't.
She's not going to interrupt you right now. Give 7 traits.
No, I won't, because she's always interrupting. So I won't give 7 traits. I won't.
So you're just gonna not participate?
Am I gonna keep getting interrupted every single week? This is about the 4th week since I've been on the show. I'm always interrupted.
You are being Peter right now.
Am I gonna keep getting interrupted?
No, go ahead and give the 7 traits.
Okay, all right.
Just so, and it might align us all. Go ahead.
Okay, a man, he stands up for himself. He has character. He has integrity. He has dignity. He gives back to the community. He helps the elderly. When he sees that elderly woman in the store and she needs help with something, he's willing to step in and help. A man of good morals, good values. Those to me are alphas. I said part of that earlier.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds different than traits. Those are more like actionable things that they're doing. So like when you said integrity, things like that, okay, we can kind of line those up. If I help a lady with the groceries, I don't know if that qualifies me automatically, but I know that you're saying that they maybe like have traits of chivalry or concern, things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Eddie, what up?
Yo, Wagwan.
Go ahead.
Yo, so interesting responses. I always liken this conversation strictly to masculinity. To me, there's no derivative of masculinity. Anything outside of masculinity is not masculinity, right? Let's call it beta, right? For me, it's just like, if you are not exhibiting the level of understanding, provision, protection, consistency, responsibility, the things that I know what manhood are, for me, it's just like something's off, right? And I think we were discussing what that looks like specifically for the Black community. You got to consider we have an excess of broken homes. So to answer the question, yeah, there's a shit ton of quote unquote beta males out here. Sometimes it's their fault, sometimes it's not their fault. Whether or not they seek help, therapy, or male circles where they can grow and learn some of the components that they're missing, that's on them. But for the most part, in my day-to-day interactions, there's certain things I just pick up that I've never seen my father, uncles, or anything like that do. And if I have the time, I pull them aside like, yo, have you ever looked at this behavior in this way? As a way to kind of like uplift that man, right? Whether it's a young man, and I'm a former educator, or a grown man, like, yo, like, look at it this way, bro. Like, it's not a good look when you do that type of shit, right? So for me, it's just like, it's a matter of masculinity or not.
Some of the things that our fathers did was characterized as toxic, though.
Right. Yeah, I don't ascribe to that toxic masculinity stuff, right? Like,
okay,
some of that stuff, is pervasively ignorant. If you unfortunately came from an unhealthy home where the masculine energy was not the best, that's problematic. I'm not saying that there's no way to word that. But in terms of the phrase toxic masculinity, it's coined by 2 white homosexual men. So I don't ascribe to that shit. But overall, like, yeah, are there traits where men act on some bullshit? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Word.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Q, what up, though?
Shit like that.
What up, baby?
What you think? Are most men actually beta males?
I like the way that you posed the question where you use the word most. I think that's important because it's not all. So I can answer this truthfully from my perspective in saying yes.
Break that down.
I was kind of speak to some of what Eddie was hitting on. I think he kind of took that point that as I'm listening to everybody talk, for me, it comes more from an identity. And if you have no, I mean, taken into account, most Black homes in America have no 2-parent unit. So, you know, with there being so many women raising boys, and this is no disrespect to the women, because I think there are women who do a phenomenal job raising boys. So again, I'm speaking to the majority. You're not going to have that identity piece that's necessary to be an alpha male, in my opinion. I know Eris feels, you know, that it is an innate characteristic of Black men, but I don't think it's limited to that. I think that it's something that starts in you from a young age. And if you don't have that, you have to do the work later in life to get to that point. I think even if you look at the examples that young Black boys have, for the most part, of men, and this goes back to our society and TV and all this other shit. And I forgot where I heard this, but it's like niggas is either gay or some type of rapper, thug, killer. And so where do you get alpha from that? And that's no disrespect to a homosexual. Not to say that they're not homosexual men who can have alpha character, but, you know, over feminizing is where I'm going with that.
Can a man be gay and be alpha?
Yeah. But I'm talking about that over feminine.
Like the flamboyant.
Yeah, exactly. So now you're mainly around your mama, your auntie, your grandma, whoever, you know, who have these natural feminine characteristics. And then your examples of men on TV are going to be some type of beta regardless. So it's like it's giving, and that's their blueprint. I think you do those small circles, which is kind of what you guys are speaking to, where you do have alpha males, but it's about, I think, kind of getting that image out there a little bit more, and kind of getting you guys in the community a lot more too. But if there were not as many beta in the Black community, it would be where we are right now.
I have a question.
You faded out a little bit, Q. Go ahead, Alex.
So I really liked what Asia said in the sense of, I think an alpha trait, I feel like there are some spaces where you can just tell and you can point out who the alpha is in the room. And there are some people, they walk into a room and they command a presence. They don't have to do too much. They're not the loudest in the room. You know, maybe they're not the over the top person, but they're observing things. They're constantly watching. They're constantly aware of their surroundings. But when they speak, they command that presence. And just in hearing what everyone is considering like an alpha male versus a beta male, I think, as my question is for the men, do you think you can identify, could you walk into a room of men, do you think you can identify who the leader is without someone pointing it out?
Absolutely. The same way you can. Just by how men carry themselves. You can tell instantly he's got some alpha characteristics or some alpha qualities to him. Then you get to learn about him. You can decide whether or not it's all up front. But a lot of dudes can walk in with their chest out, and you know what I'm saying, it looks that way. But once you get to talking to him, it ain't the same thing. But I did hint. I wanted to chime in on this real quick because I look back at the definition, right? And ladies, this is a shout to y'all because it says see also alpha male, and you got to click on it. But under the definition of having the highest rank in a dominance, a hierarchy, underneath it says example, the alpha female in an elephant pack. So to the question, I guess to the question, yes, women can be alphas. And Q, I wanted to ask you, I wasn't quite sure I understood what you were saying, although I did agree with a lot of it in needing more male representation. Were you saying that single mothers are I don't know if the word was incapable, single mothers can't raise an alpha male?
No.
Okay, that's okay. That's what I heard. All good.
When you find that, it's gonna be rare. Like I think it's Chico Bean who talks about his mom and you know how she dealt with him growing up and the shit that she used to instill in him. That's rare. That's not your typical single mother.
Yeah. So would you consider single mothers raising young men alphas?
I wouldn't. Statistically, that's not the case.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Not if we're speaking about a large number. No.
Yeah, but Q's saying it's not impossible, but she said the probability is low.
That's why I want to check on it, because I was low key offended. I'm not gonna front, because I'm from a single parent home. My mom's did that, but I personally believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe when I walk into a room, I'm one of the guys you can look at and go, okay, like you can kind of see that in how I carry myself. So and that was from my mom's, all from my mom's.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying? So
and like that small number of you guys, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna see that, but it's not gonna be as much as the large majority of men, especially young boys, especially this upcoming generation. You don't see that, in my opinion, as much. But yeah, hell yeah, there's single moms out there killing it. You know what I mean? But to me, for definition, for an alpha male, he's somebody who has a backbone. You know what I mean? If you're in that happy wife, happy life bullshit, and you really kind of just let her take over, like I've always said, if the hierarchy in your household, if you're male, from however you fuck you want to do it, fine. If you're the man and you're underneath her and she runs the house, your whole shit is out of order. So that to me is like, that's not alpha male shit. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah. Word. Alex, I think it depends on the room, maybe. Depends why I'm there too. You know what I mean? Like when I come in the room, I'm not checking for a bunch of, now I still do this, even though in my big age, I walk in a room or a club, I'm like, I'll whoop everybody ass in here. Then I go about my, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. When you walk in, you check the doors in, like, you know what? I'm safe in this motherfucker. Then I go about my business, you know what I mean? But I'm not really checking for like who, you know what I mean? So, but I get if I made a point to, I'm sure I could, you know what I mean? But usually.
Ham, can I ask you a question real quick? Real quick.
Yes,
so is it offensive not to be considered the alpha male?
I think it is. I think we need real perspective though. I think that I think it shouldn't be, because everybody doesn't qualify for everything. Mm-hmm. But we would lean on Chief for that leadership in those instances. I think what was said in the chat is alphas can follow other alphas. That's why men are successful in military, because we know how to follow orders. It doesn't mean all those men who aren't the head general are stereotypically beta males. You know what I'm saying? But men have that quality where like to lead, you have to follow at times, right? So
agreed. And I think that the true strength of a man is knowing when to not lead, right? And to be a follower of the man who knows that whatever that expertise or subject matter is, right?
Yeah,
we all followed Chief, and you knew not to sit there and exert yourself when you weren't necessarily a leader in that particular instance.
Yeah, I ain't always listening, but we should have.
So I have a question in regards to your statement. Am I supposed to call you Love or Asia? Because I'm trying to respect the
Asia. That nigga named Asia. Go ahead, Aaron.
Does that mean an alpha man can also fall back for a woman? So you're saying, like, basically, if you're not the expert. No, I'm just saying in the instance.
I'm trying to make funny. That's why I made that noise. I hear what you're saying. I hear what
you
you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
And
like,
so, no, I hear what you're saying.
I'm able to do that.
And so what I've said in previous episodes is we all have our strengths and weaknesses. And so, for example, I may be more skilled at financial management more than my man.
Yeah.
That does not make him a beta, because he allows me to financially manage.
Yeah.
And so that's right. That's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And so no, he's definitely not a beta because he allows me to manage the finances. Or
well, no, stay on that point, Asia, right? Because that's a good point. Okay. And I'm glad you used the word allow. So leaders delegate, right? You uncover and you find what your employees do best, and you have them do those tasks.
Absolutely. That's a smart leader. That's a wise leader.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so that my man will be the wise leader in that, because he's saying, Dave, you do way better with finances than I do. I do good with fixing toilets and unclogging tubs.
Right.
Now, why you get him? See this nigga here, man.
Bruh.
Now he a fucking handyman and you a goddamn scientist. I don't like that shit. Bro.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
Fix the toilet then. If I know how to fix the toilet and I know how to repair stuff around the house, and
Hey,
you
stop
good with
playing.
the money.
Plumbers make bread. Them plumbers make bread. Don't sleep on them.
I'm just
They
saying, like,
really
make
do. They
it
make money.
Right.
All right.
Would you
Any
be okay
final?
with that? No, as
Right.
a man, would you be okay with that? If I'm like, nah, babe, I got it. Like my dad raised me and he taught me how to do X, Y, Z. So I got it's I like to do it. It's my pleasure. I like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go balance the checkbooks, whatever, and let me go fix the toilet.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. If I walk in your house and you fixing the toilet and he's sitting at the fucking dinner table doing the bills, I'm gonna laugh. Let you know
But
that
you just
now.
saying it's fair, and then you laughing. So which is it?
Right.
Because
I
you
know
got-
that it's serious because I've seen that too. Like my parents who are still married, been married over 30 years. Like my dad likes to act like he know how to fix stuff, but he don't. You know, he
Hey,
tries.
come on, man.
Bruh.
I'm serious. And I'm not saying my dad is very much an alpha man. Don't get it twisted. But my mom, she is just really handy. Like she just naturally is good at that stuff. Me, I don't like to read directions. I'm never gonna put it together. But her, she's gonna read every line. She's gonna figure it out. That's not me. My dad, I'm like my dad, to be honest. Like he's not gonna look at the fine details. He's just gonna try to put it together, figure it out. But he knows, she knows her strength. So that doesn't mean he's less of a man. That just means,
Yeah.
But like, quick question. So in the definition though, like I see how we're all putting it, in our own words, it's more like the alpha is top tier and then the beta is like the bottom of the barrel. But in regards to the definition that Chief pulled, it sounds more like they consider beta like second place. Like you're good, but you're not as good.
Well, so the definition doesn't define it how we're defining it.
Right.
So alpha is defined in the dictionary. Beta isn't how we use it today. But I'm all right. So that's good though. Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Do me a favor, hit the like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. All right, that's the thing that YouTube weighs the most to get people to get into your algorithm. All right, so if you got a minute, hit the like button. Also answer the poll. Are most men actually beta? All right, listen. So we had a conversation one day, like we talking about women dress a certain way. Does that define them? People saying yes, no, whatever the case is. But I seen prostitutes dress like prostitutes. And then also I heard that most church girls be getting it popping too. Right? But they be fronting like they don't. And every woman in between. And then women said they get hit on whether they whatever they wearing don't matter. And I know at some point y'all probably fold and give him some cheeks when he approached you while you was at the gym or at the gas pump. So my question is, and Q, I've been putting I'm in 304s and just don't admit it. If you look at
your mic, you broke up. Yeah, your mic broke up and nobody heard. I didn't hear the question.
Are most women 304s? And they just don't ever admit it.
Can you please break down what 304
Right, what a 304 is?
If you look at your phone, HOE.
I know, but other people watching might not really understand what you're saying. I came from the pager era where I flip things around, but some people don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we all kind of old. So are most women hoes and they just don't really come clean?
Can you define a hoe, Hemp? What's
well, let's break it down. That's usually Alex's job. Alex, what's Alex? What's
They was in the back laughing as soon as you said "ho."
That's my nigga.
You can't break it down. I tell y'all all the time, it's levels. You can't break it down. It's levels to the whole shit.
Levels is a breakdown.
Well, hold on 1 second. So if there's levels to the whole shit, then level 1 is a hoe. It's the same as level 10.
That's what I'm saying.
Come on, man.
Are there alpha hoes?
Break it down.
There is levels to the whole shit. Like
Okay, but a level means you still a hoe. Level 1 hoe is still a hoe.
But my instance of it personally is there's some shit that's kind of regular, but a nigga will call you a hoe for it just because he like you.
What? Like what?
Well, how about the men? Y'all define what a hoe is, so that then we can.
All right, let's work on this. Let's work. Hold on. Mute. Let's work on this shit together. Chief, you got a pen and pad, don't you? All right, write on that motherfucker for once. All right, Q, give me one trait of a hoe. Ooh, my ass.
No, because I had like a whole list. If you giving up the box for something in exchange, whether it's clothes, whether it's a meal, whether bartering in some way, that's whole activity.
All right, Mary, you next.
Listen, don't have me saying shit on this show because you already know these people be going in on me. So, to me, hoes, like top tier hoes, is like the females that pick up niggas from like the club and like go fuck up in the back room.
All right, one trait. Okay, so you saying she give up quickies if she?
Yeah, like niggas she don't even know their name type shit.
All right, I got one night stand. That would be a trait. If you able to do the one night stand thing, I feel like that might qualify you. Eris, your turn.
Different from what you saying though, Mary.
Yeah, it's different from that was mine, Eris.
Oh, okay. I was just making a decision. Okay, cool.
I'm not saying one night stand. He's saying that.
Yeah, I'm saying that. Mary's saying some whole other shit. Go ahead, Eris.
Whole other shit.
No, I'm just listening. I just was trying to.
No, I know. It's your turn to give a trait.
Of a hoe?
Yeah.
To me, I guess. I mean, if we're talking about negative connotations, I would say.
Wait a minute. There's a positive connotation to it?
I mean, I'm just saying, it don't have to be a negative thing. But if we talk about negative connotations, I would say a hoe is somebody that sleeps with their friends, man.
So anybody can get it. She the can girl. Christine.
I think mine is a combination of Mary's and Eris. Like you just passing it out to everybody, every man that gives you attention, just handing it out. Yeah.
Okay. Alex.
Get it rain, like.
I think somebody who's sloppy.
Okay.
Time out. I gotta interject. Yeah, please.
I would say
people that look sloppy and do sloppy things.
No. I mean, like, you gonna do what you want to do. What you do with your body parts is your business, but no one is going to know what you do unless you are being messy with how you're making your moves, right? So, like, this person A could have just as many bodies as person B, but we may only call person A a hoe by the way that she carries herself. If she's being sloppy, if she's being messy. A person B is over here minding her business, going on, she's not changing up how she's moving. She has decorum. So I think it's in the way you move, sloppiness.
Okay.
Okay, so if person B is exchanging pussy for gifts or monetary gain, having one night stands, picking niggas up at the club, sleeping with her homies' friends, but nobody know, she ain't a hoe?
If I don't know, I wouldn't call her a hoe.
But is she a hoe? In a hypothetical, is she a hoe?
I guess yes.
Okay.
I mean, but don't.
If you scream in the forest, does it really sound? Nobody's around.
See, I was about to say that. Like, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hits it, doesn't really.
Right? Is it really sound?
Well, let me ask you a question. If a tree falls in the forest and you were there, does it make a sound?
Yes.
That's
so. What if you leave the forest and another tree falls? Did it make a sound?
I don't know. I wasn't
hear it. I don't know.
But the first one fell, but you're saying the second one might have fell gently.
Correct.
I can't. I don't know. I can't give an accurate.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Come on, man. Go ahead, B. Give me a trait for these niggas. Get me upset.
She has multiple male friends.
So like, that seemingly are platonic.
Exactly.
Okay. So she hang around a bunch of dudes. You would constitute her as a
Absolutely.
8-4?
Absolutely. Why would you hang around so many males? Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I mean, chef.
It's all opinionated. I mean, well, that ain't. But
Nah, this the law right here. We've been in it together now. Chef.
What I saw at my HBCU as an RA, I just say the joints that just like everybody. If I heard your name more than about 4 or 5 times, you was a hoe.
So you saying she's sloppy?
Eddie was my RA at one point.
Christine, let me.
But he ain't never hear my name. Don't try it.
He say that. He just kept the same stone
I know.
face.
I'm kidding.
I'm just saying, like it's one of them things where it's just like you just know whole energy and whole ethics. You know what I'm saying? If she running
got a vibe,
if she running heels real fast,
Eddie, we putting the law together. Wait, what is it? So she can run in heels and
running
she got
heels real fast.
vibration.
This one chick, we had a lockdown on visitation. She jumped out of.
I don't want to hear no story.
No stories. All right. Well, if she could jump real high,
they could jump real high.
Real high.
This nigga crazy.
That's all.
Hoes got
Love, give me a
superpowers.
trait. Go ahead, Eris. What you say?
I said hoes got superpowers.
Hoes got superpowers. Yes, that's my trait right there, son.
Love, what up though?
Don't cut me off.
Well, these are just traits. We're trying to get to the question.
Okay. So the trait of a hoe, I think, is no integrity, because if you sitting there using your puss to pay bills, I mean, I ain't mad at you. Okay, you're working. I have a problem with calling a woman a 304 when she's using what she got to get what she want, and don't nobody know about it. Like I said, if the tree fall in the forest, ain't nobody around, is it really a sound? She ain't hurt nobody.
I can't wait till they start talking about you in these comments. You know,
I know they don't drag me, but it's okay. They drag me already anyway, Mary Berry. They already dragged me already. But I'm just saying, I ain't no 304. Well, so it's like
it's levels. It's
levels to it, but a hoe is a hoe, right? A level 1 hoe, level 2 hoe, level 3 hoe, level 4 levels is still a hoe.
All right, let me get you.
Don't let it be negative connotation. Don't let it be negative connotation. If you want to pay your bills by using what you got, why are you being frowned upon? Number one, and don't nobody know about you. Ain't hurt nobody. You using condoms. You ain't doing it in front of your kids.
So what is it? What is the trait though? What is the trait?
Not having integrity. So men can be hoes too, because a lot of men don't have integrity. So
talking
anybody
about
can be
now,
hoes, no integrity. If you don't have integrity, you are a hoe.
All right, Adrian, come on. All right.
I just told you, Ham. If you don't have integrity, you have a hoe. You're a hoe with no integrity. You got no integrity, you have a hoe.
Gee, what's the trait?
I kind of agree with it all, but I think the one that stuck out the most to me was just running through the friends, the homies. Like when we all know, and she know we all know, or maybe she don't know we all know, but it's just like she know we boys. But you know what I'm saying? There's been a few where it's just like, how do you not know that we best friends? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you think he wasn't going to tell me? That's how a party.
But why did your friend do it to her then afterwards? Like, you're the hoe. The men is the hoe too.
I mean, I didn't say they weren't. I didn't say they weren't. But if you know,
but that's my point. My point saying that, Chief, though, is with no integrity makes you the hoe. So the girl is the hoe, the man is the hoe, because neither had integrity. You are busting it down with your homeboy's girl, and your girl is busting down with your homeboy. So they're both hoes, is all I'm saying. No,
the hoes don't become you. The hoes can't get to girl status. They can't get to girlfriend status. You know what I'm saying? She giving it up. He like, hey.
But what if he didn't know?
Who didn't know?
Girl. If that was his girl, right?
Okay.
Busting it open for the friend. That makes her a hoe.
No, the homies know.
Friend,
he knew.
Okay, he's a hoe too. Is my point.
Listen, don't derail it. All right, so you're lucky the goddamn baby was crying. You got to talk long enough. All right. If a chick gets one train ran on her, is she a hoe?
Absolutely.
Listen, first of all, I have a problem with the word train, because a train is the same thing as a threesome, or it defines train.
Here we go.
The dudes don't engage
all the time. What is a train? Please.
The dudes don't engage with each other in the train.
Okay, that can be a threesome where dudes don't engage.
No, that's not
That's
a
a
threesome.
train.
That's not a threesome. That's a
The
train.
definition of a threesome is 3 people, right?
Congratulations. No, nigga.
Threesome
The
means
definition of threesome is if all 3 people are engaged.
Webster that right there, Chief, please.
Webster threesome?
I'm just asking for. I'm a clarity person.
Yeah, so listen,
Please give me
Webster,
clarity.
We got to go to Urban Dictionary for train. That type of train.
Webster is not the authority on this. I got the math on this.
Okay, you got this.
Yeah. If the party of 3 does not all engage with one another, that's a train. So if it's 2 men and you and they don't touch each other, they don't have no involvement with each other, you got a train ran on you.
Are they in the same room
would
though,
it be
Ham?
a train if it was 2 women and 1 man, and the 2 women weren't engaging with one
Right.
another?
Then he got a train ran on him. That's it.
I just want to make sure that it's equal on both sides because this is where I have the problem.
Yeah. It don't qualify. It don't give him a negative point though. It gives a woman a negative point if it happens to her though, unfortunately.
Why?
Because we judge her off that.
Why? If you
Why not?
if you saying the reverse is the same thing, if they both train,
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it has the same end result. See, you get equal opportunity. You don't get the same outcomes though.
So there's no equity in this situation.
No, hell no.
Okay, cool. Right. All
Yeah,
right.
life ain't fair. Shit ain't free.
Cool. Right. All right. Well.
Yeah, you know that. So
I don't
you got
know.
all these.
But-
Well, I mean, so are most women 304s, man? Let's chop this up, man. I'ma say I think so.
Your mic
Based on the
Yeah, your mic is going in and out. Yeah.
Oh. Well, are most women 304s? Go ahead, Ayers.
No. No, I don't think most women. I don't think most women are. I think men are. I don't think women are. I think men are definitely because
Who they sleeping with?
What I'm saying is, I think what I'm saying is, I think there are more hoes that are men. I'm not saying that women aren't hoes. I'm saying there's more men out here.
Well,
they might be running through the same women. But
how about that?
what
yeah,
I'm
well,
saying,
you're not wrong.
yeah.
But so you're saying most women aren't.
Most women aren't. Most men are because men measure their success
What about the women,
or their
though?
status on sex. A lot of them are on conquest, on female conquest.
Well, I don't think women can be hoes though. I think Chief thinks we can. I don't think we can.
Why?
I think we're or whore makers. I just don't think we can be hoes
Is that why? Why?
because it doesn't affect us in the same way. Hoe is a negative connotation. It doesn't matter to us.
Just because it doesn't matter doesn't mean you're not one.
What do you mean? Yes, it does.
No, the
We can be
definition of the word stand.
whoremongers.
It doesn't matter if you take it positively or negatively. It's the word.
No, I told you Webster don't fucking define everything for me.
No, I'm not talking about Webster. I'm saying in general. If based on everything that we're talking about, you were asking about characteristics. There are men that display those same characteristics. Whether or not you think it's positive or negative it doesn't matter. A hoe is a hoe. You're not asking about the connotation. You're asking about what is.
What I'm telling you is men can't be hoes. I'm saying we could be whore makers or whoremongers. So be careful because a man will make a hoe out of you.
So let me ask you this, Tamp. I remember a couple of episodes, it was stated by you that men will smash anything.
Yeah.
Are y'all hoes?
No, we're whore makers.
No, but wait. Okay, so you're whore makers.
You know what's funny? I allowed it for a second. The question rolling is what's going to be answered. Almost got me though. I want to know if women are hoes.
I said no. I answered the question.
I know, but then you flipped and you had me answering questions and shit. I don't like that. Chris, what you think?
I don't think most women are hoes. And I wanted to make a comment, but I was trying not to jump in earlier about like, is a hoe somebody who sleeps with somebody to get things that they want? I don't think most women are hoes. I think most women wish they could be, to be honest, because a lot of people are doing that for free, you know? So I think a lot of women wish they could actually do things like that, but they don't.
Yeah, like prostitution wise?
Not prostitution wise, exactly how I just said it before.
Well, if you get provision for your box, that's prostitution, ain't it?
It's not.
No.
No, prostitution, from my understanding of it, I've never been a prostitute, never will be. But my understanding of it, prostitution is when you actually, solicit your body for funds. So that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if someone, is feeling a guy and he's offered things to her, she hasn't said anything. She hasn't said, oh, I want to sleep with you so I can get X, Y, and Z. But it just happens to happen and he gives her this and it becomes an occurrence because that's just, he likes to give to her and they're having a good time. That's different. That doesn't make her a hoe though.
Okay. Eddie, what you think, man?
I think most women carry the spirit of hoism. It's there, it lingers, it shows itself. I've seen too many women who are the church girl, the corporate woman twerking on brunch tables over mimosas. And the level of denial that I've heard in the last 20 minutes, it's interesting. They try to get you with it, Hemp, but you're too sharp and too smart for that. So yeah, I think the spirit of the Jezebel is profoundly strong in these modern times, and it usually comes out at bar festivals, or like I said, don't let there be a bottomless mimosa somewhere. Somebody's panties are going to end up on the chandelier. That's just how it goes. I just wanted to throw that little honest tidbit in there.
I appreciate it, Eddie. Anybody else want to answer this?
I do.
You said,
go ahead.
Originally, did you say are most women 304s but don't want to admit it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think I like the question that's scrolling right now. I like how you posed that. You said most, not all. Right? I want to emphasize that. Of course, in the name of sexual liberation. You kidding me?
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Now, to the second part of your original question, I think because of sexual liberation, I think they are more forthcoming. Probably not the women on this panel, but I think they are more forthcoming. Just saying, this is what it is.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I got one question, and then I want Mary. You wanted to respond, right?
Yeah.
Does body count matter, ladies? I just want to see something.
No, it's relative.
Does body count matter though, Adrian?
No.
What's yours? Hold on, Mary. What's yours, Adrian?
2.
See, and that's my body count don't matter, but no, they never want to tell you what it is.
I got a child and I was married.
Bruh.
What do you expect from me?
Oh, come on, man. Put her in the bath.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Go ahead, Mary.
All right. So to answer the initial question, I feel like that goes back to my response in regards to what is a hoe. I feel like, yes. So I feel like generally it does look like most women are hoes. It does seem like most women are hoes because, again, everybody has their own definition to it, their own level to it. Like I said before, guys will call a female a hoe just because she leave him and go get a new boyfriend. Now she a hoe. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, it looks like the majority is going to be a hoe because of everybody's, own definition of being a hoe. Now, when I think of hoe, I always think about the most extreme shit. So, to me personally, there wouldn't be a lot of hoes. Like, I think it was Christine that said it. There's a lot of women that wish they could be hoes to be able to use what they got to get what they want. In a sense of if that is a type of hoism. But also in regards to Eddie's point, it's a little Jezebel in everybody. Like, if we being honest, Like I talked about in a previous podcast, like I do feel like people should have their whole face before they get married. So I feel like it is naturally in, every woman, along with the whole sexual liberation thing. It's just that, are you going to allow it to come out, or are you not? Or like Alex said, you gonna keep it a secret?
Okay.
I
Interesting.
have a question, Mary.
Is it on the same topic?
Yeah.
All right. Who's the question for? That way
For
we can
Mary.
get.
Is it that is allowed to come out, or like do you think that it's suppressed sometimes? You understand? Like, do you think that we think because of the negative connotation of whole, like we're not allowed to?
Yeah, that's why I feel like a lot of women do. Like I said, I feel like the majority are not hoes. You know what I'm saying? Because we do suppress so much sexually in general. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're with somebody, you're not, a lot of women aren't going to express like, hey, I don't really like that. It doesn't really feel good. Like, that's whack. A lot of women won't do that. So we're kind of just taking ourselves out of that motion of being like, like I didn't have an orgasm. Like that shit wasn't it. We just kind of pulled it in. So that stops a lot of, a lot of women just kind of keep everybody trying to be chose, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? The ultimate goal is to have a husband, kids, family, whatever. So because you don't know who you're going to be with, you have to carry yourself a certain way until you get there and see what your husband is okay with and not okay.
I like what Mary just said. And one last thing,
I can't do it.
I can't be succinct on this. We done?
So you got to find a thought though. You could do that. Interesting. So, like, subscribe, tell a friend, hit the share button, hit the like button for us, please, if you don't mind. That helps the channel the most. So that was a topic I wanted to slide in there. No pun intended with the slide in and shit, but I don't know, man. I think we got the answer. I think most of y'all be wilding. So this is the lead up question, and Asia, you can kick this off, all right? I need to know, right? Because of sexual liberation, I'm glad Q mentioned that. I think when Mary was talking, when Eddie said Jezebel, when she said it's in everybody like Mary right and all that, you know what I mean? It's levels to the wholeness. Eris tried to flip it and make sure we knew that men could be hoes too. She tried to get the tactic. That's an avoidance tactic, in my opinion. Chief is the smartest one here. He could probably attest to that. So I need to know. Kill romance. Men or women? I'm gonna get Asia first, then Chief.
Can you ask it again? I'm sorry, your mic went out a little bit. Can you ask the question again?
It cost me $500. I'm gonna take this bitch back. Who killed romance? Who killed romance? Men or women? What do you think, Asia?
I think women did, honestly.
Why is that?
And Eddie, don't make that face. And so the reason why I think women killed romance is because there were so many women at some point that wanted to be sexually liberated, and they were giving it up so quick without getting that romance and that passion and that pursuit of a man. And so that kind of became the norm because they were getting chose or picked. And so men felt, well, I don't have to romance or date or court a woman because my ultimate goal is to have sex. And that was it on this panel before. The ultimate goal for men is to have sex. Good sex at that. And so if you can have sex without having to romance or court a woman, why would you? Like, why waste my time, my effort, my money, my fakeness if I don't have to fake it and just get the cheeks anyway? And so I think women did because they wanted to be chose so bad. And I hate to say that, but it's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And unfortunately, because women want to be chose out of pure sincerity of wanting that man for a good reason, you want to be a wife, you want to be chosen, you want to be that man's all. And so, men want that. So maybe if I show them I can give them good sex or give them passion or give them whatever, let me show them what I have to offer first. without having him to work for it or pursue it. So ultimately, I think women may have killed it, and men was like, "Great, we ain't got to do it no more. So let's just keep on doing what we're doing and show these hoes a little bit of attention, and we can get what we want."
Wait, did you call them hoes?
I sure did.
Wow.
On purpose. Because the hoes people, I'm glad you said, thank you for bringing that out. The reason why I definitely said on purposely the hoes is because hoes give tricks, right? The hoes do tricks. You sit there and show what I can do. This is what you want, and I can do it better than her already. You ain't got to choose. We ain't got to sit there and wait and choose between us. I got it, and so I'm gonna do this trick for you. Hoes do tricks. And hoes do tricks very well. That's why they get paid. And that's why they get their bills paid. They get everything that they want.
I got you.
Okay, I know. Hey, trying to cut me off. I'm sorry, Chief. I mean, ask you a question.
Man, it should be long, man. Chief, what up?
Well, give me the question again.
Yeah, I know. See, Aiden was talking for 30 fucking minutes.
It's at the bottom.
I respect.
Cut it out.
Who killed romance, men or women? Okay. So let me just put it out there and say we be fucking up all the time, but I gotta go agree with Asia's point because as Q was saying, in the spirit of sexual liberation, I feel like I'll speak for myself. There's been several occasions where it's come faster than I anticipated it to, and it was kind of like, that drive to pursue and everything wasn't really there as much. I mean, granted, some of them you just really into and it keeps the party going. However, there's been some where it's just like, the pursuit is gone now. So it's kind of like, there's no need to wine and dine. There's no need to go through the romantic part anymore because I'm already here. You dig what I'm saying? So, it depends on who she is that keeps the romance. Like who she is will make you want to do that. But oftentimes it does kind of like, as crazy as it sounds, you can both be crazy, sexually attracted to each other and grown and do what you want to do. But in a certain sense, too early sometimes can kind of fuck up the romance.
Did the quality of the tricks make it last a little bit longer than the others, Chief?
Elaborate. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
The quality of the tricks, like you said, I got it a little bit longer. And if she's more fun, then I'll let it linger a little bit. Use your words. I'll let it linger a little bit longer because, it's fun. Right. And so is the tricks fun or the conversation fun? What's fun?
I think all of the above. Who she is as a person will pull you in. You know what I'm saying? Because the tricks we can create those ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We can play the game too. But I think who she is will keep you there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Christine, what you think? Who killed romance, men or women?
So I actually liked Love's point. That was really interesting. I didn't think about it from that perspective because that hasn't been my experience. So, it's all about perspective and what you've been through and, people that you've seen and all that kind of stuff. So I would now say probably a little bit of both because
Christine, I know you haven't seen the show.
No.
But we got to stand. No. So the premise of the show is we got to stand. We got to take a stand. So the sometimes that doesn't fly. We got to stand on something.
I'll say what I was originally going to say. However, I do agree with what Love said. That was interesting. So then I'll flip to the other side then and say men, partially because of ironically podcasts and people kind of making it seem like they don't have to put in a lot of effort. They don't have to court. They don't have to do this and that because it's 2023 and now, things are different and y'all want equality. So y'all should chase us too. But back in the day, when romance was pure and it was legitimate and people were really trying to, make things happen and make genuine connections, men actually cared about impressing a woman. And, I think in some cases, men can be lazy and, they'll actually lose out on a good thing because they don't want to treat her to a nice experience or because they think that they're putting in too much effort and they're chasing her too much. But that's always how it's kind of been. And I feel like, back in the day, that was a manly thing to do. That was an alpha thing to do. But now, for some reason, it's looked at in a negative way when a man treats a woman like she should be treated and courts her properly or, makes her feel special. So I think I'll say, if I can only have one answer, I'll say men.
I like it. Now, you use the word pure, which jumped out to me. But if women have been conducting themselves differently and the purity has been lost there, was that the trigger?
I don't think so. I think I would say now it's more overt. Back in the day, it was probably more behind closed doors.
Like covert. Okay. Chief, you about to say something?
I'm listening to her, and I think she has some very valid points, but I can say this, man, and even in the spirit of being, an alpha male per se, I think we still like to be held to that standard. So even if you do give it up on the first night or whatever, like you still expect to be treated a certain way. And I think when you don't set that standard, that's when the romance dies.
That was actually the other part that I was going to say, because although I agree with Love's point, I think that women will only do what you allow them to do. So you can have a guy who's traditionally not really romantic, but if he comes at me, oh, you about to be romantic over here. I don't know what you was doing over there, but you know what I mean? So like, I think it also depends on like what a woman will allow. Like, I think that's getting so.
B, what you think, B?
I'm going to say women killed the romance. For one, you got debt due out there, okay? You got bills due out there, okay? If you know what I mean. But I just also believe too, with the sexual liberation, I feel like that has played a part in it. I just feel like too, a lot of women nowadays, since they feel as if they have a lot of options, they can just hop around from gentleman to gentleman to gentleman for whatever purpose that they could see each man for. So I would say women killed the romance. A lot of the men that I know, they want to be married and they want to be in relationships and are heavily vetting potential women.
So you're saying they trying to court and all that, but the women readily available, or in the mindset?
Your mic went out. All I heard was readily available.
Like, are the women not available to them?
I would say, well, again, because the women have so many options, they can just pick and choose for the women. But the men, a lot of them just don't have options, but they see this one woman, they're heavily vetting this one woman, and this is who they want to make it work with.
Okay.
What's wrong here? Extra question.
I'm so confused. Like, who has options?
What you mean, who has options? I don't understand your question.
As a woman, like, why do you feel like we have more options than you?
I mean, that I can't answer. That I'm just saying from what I see. I mean, I don't know.
Because you all are the gatekeeper to sex.
I mean,
no, that's different. I'm saying options. We can choose who we want to have sex with. I understand it. I'm saying more options. And like when you say options, I'm thinking of like just in general, like statistically, we don't have. And we just talking about black men. We don't have more options than you. There's more women out here than men.
Okay, so I know if I could walk in the club right now, I'm gonna see this woman get hit on by maybe about 20 different men.
So you saying in general that we can date more, we have more options. It's like more people out there for us, like more men out there for us than women out there for you.
Okay, let me just say this. From what I'm saying, from what I see in general, that there's lots of women that have lots of options. From the men that I hang out with, they're more so stuck on one woman that they're trying to make it work with because they want to settle down. That's what I'm saying. That still ain't making sense.
Okay.
I mean, if it's not, if it's not making sense, I'm sorry.
It makes sense. It's just not agreeable. It makes sense. It's just not agreeable.
Okay.
So you don't think his point's not valid in saying that women can access men easier than men can access women?
That's my point. That's my question.
If I'm going by the example he used, right? So he said, I can see one woman in the club and there's 20 niggas that would try to talk to her. There's 20 other women that men are not talking to in the club.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, men are looking for a specific type.
Right.
Women don't generally have. a specific type. So men.
He's saying that she has options. He used that girl as an example, saying she has options.
Right, just one girl though. He's saying that majority of the time, like most women have a lot of options. We don't.
No, it's more women in the club than men. It's more women that go at the parties. I know I be there, not in the club anymore.
All 20 niggas are trying to talk to that same one woman. That
But listen, it's because women want the same men. So it's 20% of men having sex with 80% of the women.
You don't think men are the same woman?
But what I'm saying is the women can choose out of that little box if they wanted to much more easily than a man could.
But it's 20 other women trying to choose out that box. Like the amount of viable black men to date versus viable black women is lopsided. Like it's not equal.
How?
Jail, homosexuality, people that's not educated, niggas that got a lot of kids.
Educated, not super desirable. A bunch of kids for women, not super desirable. Like y'all act like y'all just fucking y'all. Most of y'all average. Just like us, y'all just don't think y'all average. That's the problem.
No, what it is most of us are average, but most men are gonna go for the ones that are not average. That they think are average. Like they're gonna go for big booty Judy over there in the motherfucking corner. The 20 niggas talking to her.
I think that goes back to what Mary said in the previous conversation: staying in your lane and knowing what you can get.
Yeah.
I think for men, I think it kind of goes both ways, right? I think for the men, you need to know your lane. You need to know who you can pull and what's appropriate for you. And I hate to be like that, but it is what it is. And I think the same for women. Women, you need to know what you can pull. You need to know your lane. I think a lot of times, yes, the pool is already small for a variety of different reasons for black women wanting black men, but also we are also looking at that small percentage. We want to make sure he has X, Y, and Z, but then we may discount another man because of something small. So then we end up missing out, and then we end up alone. Because I feel like sometimes, I do believe you should absolutely have our standards, but I also think that we can be very, very picky to our downfall. I think that as women. To answer the specific question, I think that women and social media are to blame when it comes to romance. I think when I think about like first dating, I think as women sometimes social media has taught us not to appreciate the small things because we're always looking at the grand gestures of things, right? We don't appreciate like a simple phone call or a text. When they do call, it's like, why is he calling me? Why are you calling me? Why couldn't you just text me? So I think it just kind of kills the vibe. And women were a little bit more resilient. Someone hurts us, we're more open to love again, and we're more forgiving. But men, that's not the case. We hurt them one time, and now it's just fuck all the bitches. We don't want them anymore. So I think that kills it. They no longer want to do the romantic things. They no longer want to do the small things. And then you add in social media. So it's like, if you're not doing this grand gesture of a thing, if you're not taking me on vacation here, if you're not buying me a Birkin or doing all of these things, and if it's not on social media, then it's not real. I don't want it. I'm going to go and get with someone else who can. So I do think it starts with us as women, and then we add on social media. And then again, as I said before, I think we need to know what our lane is in our practice.
Is that applicable? Is that applicable to all you ladies here? Like in terms of like the Birkins and all the super expensive stuff, does that define romance for you?
For me, no.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No.
Yes,
I don't think that does. For me personally, romance is more for me what you know about me. Because if you go ahead and buy me a $15,000 Birkin bag that I don't even like I'm gonna look at you like you're crazy. Versus if you go out there and give me that 12 piece of wings that I wanted the other day that never went to go get at the store.
But even with that though, men don't think of those little things as getting you the wings anymore because of social media. Social media allows them
Right, Alex.
this extra thing. So they stop doing the little things, right? And I think that's what it comes down to.
They don't get to know who we are.
Men now try to pay everything off. Like men now try to pay everything off. Like for me, what does it for me is you remembering something about me. You know what I'm saying? That's romance to me. You doing something based off of something that I like that probably don't even cost no damn money. But men have also become a part of this. Let's see who could do it bigger. Especially if they know it's going to get posted on social media, they go watch some crazy shit and want you to post it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just so other people could see that, oh, my man, this is what he did for me. This is what he did.
The whole vibe.
Right. So it's like, that's not even like no romantic shit. Like, who you trying to be romantic for, me or other people?
I would classify that as a beta male, because that seems like behavior that's just like, why would you do all that? Now, mind you, I've been let down by a lot of Jezebels. I'm still romantic.
Q, what you gonna say, Q?
I was gonna say, my question is it limited to social media or is it your circle?
It could be anywhere, honestly.
Both.
I feel like social media is so accessible nowadays. It's easier to see. I feel like people put on more on the internet than they even put on in real life. Like, it used to be in real life, a lot of people try to put on, but since nobody go nowhere no more, they can't show nobody shit. So they gotta post it on social media.
But your circle does matter, though, Q. I agree with that, because it can also be you're comparing your relationship to the next person. You know, so-and-so, Q and her girl did this. Why didn't we do that? I think there becomes the comparison. I think there's a lot of worrying about what other people are doing. I think we do things to one-up other individuals, whether it be publicly on social media or within our own friend circles. Like, just mind your business.
To answer your question, like, about the birth. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was gonna answer his question
real quick. There was this guy who was sharing this story. I don't know if you guys seen it surface on the internet, of how when he was in college, he used to think that getting women was like, you got to do romantic shit to win them over. And he said that, I guess somebody put him on the game, like, nah, you got to be an asshole. Like, they're going to find you more attractive. And he said, well, when he switched up and he became an asshole, he went from bagging like 1 or 2 girls to getting like women. Like, by the time he left college, the body count was through the roof, just from being an asshole.
What's the quality woman he was getting on bagging though? Come on, what's attracted to an asshole? Like, what type of woman, quality woman, attracted to an asshole?
It's weird though.
Let me land. So it goes back to the word that Eddie uses a lot. That's that accountability piece. That you were kind of on that wave earlier, love, when you were speaking about like killing the romance. So in that instance, if he's saying college age women tend to be more attracted to the asshole than they are the guy who has more chivalry and more romantic ways, then he's now conforming to what appeals to them.
Yes, I was talking about hoes earlier. But yeah, I hear what you're saying, but the quality of woman, and so that speaks to the quality of who he is. And to be very honest with you, Q, like, I mean, he was a young kid, so I don't 20-something year olds, young 20s, they're still trying to find themselves. They're still young in their mind and what they want. When I speak, I'm talking about grown people that who are established. And so
what's that there?
Say it again, Q.
That you said we're speaking about grown people. What's the age group there?
Yeah. So not in college, not in their early 20s, definitely not in their early 20s, right? And so I'm talking about romance and him and wanting assholes. A high vibrational woman, I'm gonna go back to our previous conversation we've had, right? A high vibrational woman is not going to want an asshole.
But how many high vibrational women exist?
Not many. But what I'm saying is, I was asking you, like, what woman? So my crew is high vibrational, right? And so we don't want assholes. We don't. So
according to y'all,
right? According to us, we don't want assholes. And so my view of womandom and women is my crew, and we are high vibrational. We don't want assholes. So at our big age.
So if you're okay with an asshole, you're low vibrational.
Yes. Who wants to treat you like an asshole?
I'm an asshole.
Okay, self-proclaimed asshole, Mary. I love you, but you're an asshole. An asshole. Who wants to be treated disrespectfully? Like, who wants to be treated disrespectfully from an asshole?
Just because you being disrespectful. Yeah. Asshole don't mean you being disrespectful to me.
So that's my definition. Let me be very clear. Right. Okay, let's define that then. Let's the same level playing field.
Asia, you never dated an asshole?
Wait, define.
Yes,
Let her define.
Absolutely, when I was younger. Yes, absolutely. I had a baby. Never mind. Let me tell my real business. Yes, I did. Okay.
You never dated an asshole when you was older.
But can we define the word?
Like for instance,
no, I didn't have. You're an asshole.
Listen, if you
ask me that question, trying to be funny.
No, seriously, if you define an asshole, Hamp is an asshole. Hamp has been an asshole my whole life.
Hamp is an asshole on screen. Behind the scenes, no, he is not.
Oh, yes, he
Right,
is.
so you're talking about relative to certain situations.
Yes,
right?
Behind the scenes, Hamp and who we are together, he's not an asshole. He's really
right, but he is sometimes in other situations. So what? How are you
on this podcast? He's an absolute asshole.
Right. So how are you defining it? How are you defining it?
But listen, an asshole doesn't mean somebody that's continuously disrespectful or disrespectful to women. You could be disrespectful to somebody.
That's my definition. What I'm saying, Mary. That's my definition.
Have you seen Hamp talk to people? I've known Hamp since I was about 13 years old. Have you seen Hamp talk to people? He is the same way as he was then as he is now. Nothing has changed about this man on and off the camera. Asshole that
I understand that. But my interaction with him, I get it. He can be an asshole, but my interaction with him more often than not, he is not. And so let's be very. So we're talking about two different things right now. I'm going to answer your question real quick. I promise I'll be quick.
Yep, this is gonna be the last one. We're gonna move on to the last topic. Go ahead, Adrian.
My definition of an asshole is that there's disrespect involved. Disrespect is never okay. Never okay. Disrespect. And so that right there is number one on my list for it being an asshole. No consideration of who I am, like all of that, like all the negatives. There's nothing good about an asshole.
Directly to you. You're saying how they treat.
Yes, to me.
I'm talking about an asshole in general. Like
it can't be confined. I don't believe it can be confined. If you're an asshole in this category, you're gonna be an asshole in this category. It's gonna seep through.
No, it's not.
But you just said
that's
that
my definition. You
just said that Hamp was
that's my definition. Correct. Hamp. Correct.
So
Hamp.
then you're.
You said Hamp is an asshole sometimes, but not to you. You just said that. You said Hamp is an asshole sometimes.
On this podcast, because he's doing a character, and I don't want to do too much right now because we're on the podcast right now. But on the podcast, Hamp is an asshole. When we're behind the scenes, he is not this. He's not.
Hamp, you're an asshole, Hamp. You're an asshole.
The Hamp that I know is the same off screen.
Yeah.
He's
be talking shit, but
that's probably why, because me and Hamp be talking shit to each other all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But let me give an example. See if this constitutes as asshole. So when I first met my wife, she walking up the street. I'm like, damn, your Jordan's dirty as a motherfucker. Would that be like asshole-ish or
not to me? Not to me. It's not to me. To me, to me again. To love, to Asia. To me, that is not. That is you cracking a joke and being funny, trying to get an in. To make me laugh, because putting my defenses down and bringing my walls down to make me laugh and talk to you. So no,
pissed.
That is not.
You were serious?
That's an asshole. It's an asshole statement, though.
Yeah, bubblegum stole my ass. That was dirt. Pissed off.
See, because he's an asshole. Like he's natural.
Listen, man. I think it's a good point though. I think you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Like the man can just be asshole-esque, right? He not necessarily disrespectful, but he walk with an air about him, and that air can be attractive.
And I like an air. I like an air, but not disrespectful.
But air is short for arrogance. There's an arrogance in there somewhere.
Confident.
No. Asshole is arrogant. It's an arrogance though. But it still can be attractive.
I'm considered arrogant sometimes to some people. I don't think I'm arrogant. I think I'm just confident in who I am. I don't think I'm arrant. Yeah, it's always relative and subjective to the person. You said what?
Just semantics, but arrogant is fine too. It happens, right?
That's correct.
Like this goddamn baby, I've been patting his back for this nigga. Man.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Look, that's my sister talking about. Yes, he is. I guess I have been for 1,000 as long as I've been living. Listen, man, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's get to the potatoes of this, man. Let me share my screen real quick. Everybody good?
Great.
Yep.
Hey, Christine, why your water bottle so big? How thirsty are you?
I'm healthy. Healthy guys. What you mean?
You trying to win a contest? All right, let me see.
Clip from a comedian you might have heard of. Okay, volume 2.
Holy women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides sex. Okay? When you meet a new girl, what do your friends ask you? What she look like? Ladies, when you meet a new guy, what do your friends ask you? What does he do? What the fuck does that do? That can help you out. Can this motherfucker facilitate a dream or not? Only
That is so
True or false,
I love that.
Leia?
Oh, it's so true. I mean, as they say, men have to become, women can just be. It's so true. You know, it's why you know, men are shipped off to war. It's why the women and the children are protected first. I think society, despite, you know, what feminists say, I think society values women and children inherently, and not men. Men are disposable to society.
So I was contemplating how to phrase this question. I feel like maybe I could have done a better job. And of course, if I open the door, Alex, you're gonna do all that big head nodding and shit, whatever, big ass head. True or false? You know, Alex, how would you have phrased the goddamn question? How about that?
Well, first I would have defined conditional love and unconditional love. Then I would have said the true or false. You know what I mean?
All right, define it. Go ahead.
I don't have a definition for it yet. Let me look on that.
All right.
I think it's clear.
So, do women love men conditionally? Let me ask that question first. Do women love men conditionally? What you think, Chief?
I think that's a tough question. I'm gonna go with Chris Rock and say yeah. In many, well, it's a double-edged sword, I think, because
whoa. I know Christine tried to double dutch earlier.
Nah, so we got to pick a side, and I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say yeah. Do you want me to elaborate on it? Kind of like Chris Rock was saying that traditionally, I think let's go back to bring the conversation full circle. I think going back to the alpha male, we are taught to protect and provide. And I think in many cases, if we aren't doing that, there's a lapse in the love that we're going to get if we're unable to protect and provide.
Can I go next, please?
No, I want to.
Yeah, I took a shot at Christine, so I'm going to let her go. Go ahead, Chris.
So the question actually says, you know, men don't ? That's the other part. So I'm gonna answer both. So I think yes, absolutely, women do, and so do men. But what we fail to realize in that clip is exactly what he said. He said, when we see a woman, you know, she can be, but why can't she be? Because she's attractive to you. That is your condition. Your condition is she's attractive. She got a nice body, you know, whatever you like. She has pretty teeth, whatever. So I think that women and men love conditionally. A woman might love a man based on, you know, what he does, the kind of father she sees him being, the kind of husband she sees him being in the future, you know, based on his characteristics or how she's treated him, or, you know, just her watching him, you know, how he interacts with other people. But men also have conditions. They might not be the same conditions, so it doesn't seem quite as apparent, but those are still technically conditions.
Interesting. That's a good point. B, what you think?
Absolutely. I would say that women do love conditionally. So as let's say the Kendra G show, let's use that for an example. it's more times than not, a lot of the women will say, he has to make a certain amount of money, he must be in this certain type of job field. And then what Kendra G will often say is, well, what if he didn't make $500,000 a year? What if he made $70,000 a year? And a lot of times the women will say, no, I don't want him. No, I don't want to give him time of day. He must make XYZ amount of dollars. So yes, I would say that women do love conditionally. I would say that. I would say that a lot of women want a man to provide on their level or more. So I would say that, yes.
Eddie, if a man were to stop providing, does he stop getting love? I think Chief might have kind of said something like that.
Yeah,
So that's kind of what Chris Rock was saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't happen right away. I think most women, jump into their nurture aspects initially. Let me support him. He's going through a rough time, but eventually, like that provision of wanting more, or wanting to sustain some sort of lifestyle is gonna kick in. Like the let me support him is gonna turn to this nigga just laying on the couch, or like, he just being a bum, like this and that. But we go through rough patches. I think, solid ones see their men through. Not to mean that you become a victim, not to mean that you become a babysitter to a grown ass man. None of that. But I feel like, if you understand what your man is going through and you're a solid one, you'll see him through it, or you're supporting or help him, right? But there's more of what I see today is chicks just giving up on dudes because microwave love. Like if it's not quick, if it doesn't, support or satisfy me consistently the way I need it to in my head, then he's worthless if he doesn't uphold like social standards.
Eddie, same question, because just off what Christine said, when the woman starts to get older and her looks decline, she has a baby, she get a little chubbier, do men stop loving their women?
Nah, on average, not really. But then it also depends on the type of man he is. Like I mentioned masculinity earlier. That's one of the things that if you've seen what healthy masculinity looks like when your father is loving your mother through all her changes, right? And we all change. Every year you're a different person, right? You understand that women's bodies changes after a kid, after 2 kids or whatever, right? It really depends on what type of masculine you are to judge your woman based on that.
So you're saying on average men don't stop loving though?
Nah, unless you don't have that type of upbringing or understanding to you got to love your woman through it all.
But you're saying on average men don't change that love, or they do?
In unique circumstances, no. Most of the time, yeah, niggas are shallow as fuck, unfortunately.
So you're saying men stop loving, so men love conditionally also?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Q, what you think?
I think that's cap. No, let me so to answer your question entirely, yeah, I think women love conditionally for the most part. So I don't want to speak in absolutes. I kind of wish you put that most in there this time. If you ask the average woman, like, to give you a list of characteristics or traits or things that a man needs to carry in order for her to find him marriage worthy or husband worthy, it's going to come with a certain I don't know the right word. She gonna list a whole bunch of bullshit, right? And the reason I gotta call it bullshit is because those are the conditions. Anytime that something in that changes, she's already ready to go left. And it's like, in my opinion, you don't see as many men filing for divorce for the same reasons that women tend to file for divorce. All those conditional reasons. However, I do think that there are men who are very picky in particular, especially in the dating process and when they're in pursuit of a woman. And I think that if a man does love a woman with conditions, that's some not alpha male material. That's some beta shit.
Yeah, it's kind of what Eddie was alluding to, I think. Eris, what you think?
I'm kind of on the same side as Q and Eddie. And also like to read your statement in totality, I would say false. But if you took off the men don't, I would say true. It's just like it's semantics, like it's wording, right? So like you included both, so I'm gonna say it's false because both sides do. But it just depends, and I do. Somebody in the comments said something about conditions. It's conditional for love for women to expect men to live up to be the heads of the household. So now we're talking about conditions, expectations. So I think that's different things too, and I think sometimes we confuse conditions with expectations, right? If I have an expectation of you and we discuss those expectations and you fall short, that doesn't mean I'm going to leave you. I'm going to give you the opportunity to work it out, whatever it is. But if it's a condition, that's an if-then statement. So like, if you don't do this, then I am going to leave. That's different.
But why are but so many women seem to be dissolving their marriages? Is that, I think, who alluded to that point? I forget who did. But it feels, huh?
Yeah. Q. That was Q.
Oh yeah, yep, Q. So that was a good point. So that's what makes it feel so much more conditional,
right,
with women than men. So that's what you were saying, kinda, or
yeah. Like I mean, I dissolved mine, but I dissolved because I don't like sharing.
Wow.
So, so some people would look at that as conditional, but I mean, there's a lot that comes to it with the sharing part too. So I think it depends on the reason. It just depends on the condition. Like everybody has different conditions for different things.
Okay. Anybody else?
Me. So, kind of like what she was saying just now. Now, I don't believe love is unconditional at all. I think all aspects of love or anything involving another person has some kind of condition. I don't care if it's relationship, familyship, parentship, it don't matter. Friendships, there's some kind of condition. Once you change something or stop doing something that appeases somebody else in a certain aspect, the love can dissolve quickly.
Children,
absolutely. If you're not being a parent to your child, that child is no longer going to love you. You're still doing something.
what about the vice versa though? So you're saying like parents don't love their kids if they're not doing anything for them? Like,
if you have a child and you're not happy about that child and everything that child do makes you upset, yes, that is possible. I've been seeing more women come out more and more about not liking their children.
well, you said like isn't love.
Like love, whatever. Like it's still me.
No.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. But when we're talking about children, is yes.
I don't like any of my kids.
Yeah, you don't have to like someone to love them, but
Right.
Conditional and unconditional to me, I think about being in love with someone versus I love you, right? I think being in love with someone is conditional. I am in love with you because you do X, Y, and Z. This is the action, right? But let's say you're in a relationship and initially when you all started dating, they were pulling out all the stops for you. Then you hit hard times and then things, they shift, they change, relationships go through seasons. I may not be in love with you at that moment because you are no longer doing those things, but I still love you unconditionally in spite of X, Y, and Z. I do think when situations happen, like say, for example, people break up, I love you, but I'm no longer in love with you. And because of that, we have to end things. I don't like you, but I still love you. So I think it kind of teeters a line, but when I think of conditional versus unconditional, I think of being in love versus I love you in spite of.
Love is a choice.
You're in love with
a choice.
If you're in love with somebody, a lot of times it's because of how they treat you.
Right, because it goes back to the action. That's
love because of how they treated you. So again, they're doing something for you. They're treating you a certain type of way, which still makes it under a condition. So if you stop doing the things that made me fall in love with you, I could possibly fall out of love with you.
Because it's a choice.
There is
You
no
didn't love in the first place. You're choosing not
No,
to love that
what
person.
you didn't love in the first place, right? It's everybody loves differently. That's another thing also, right? Like when to get back to my ex, I told my therapist, I said he didn't love me. She was like, no, he didn't love you the way you needed to be loved.
Right.
Very different.
So it's conditional. It's still very conditional.
So
it's a choice, and it's also a choice. It's also a choice.
don't force the conditional in there. Let's just have a conversation. So my
Right.
question is, does unconditional love exist?
Yes, I think the true definition of love is unconditional because it's a choice. And love, and I hate when people sit there and put in love, true love, puppy love. Love is love. Hence my name, love. Love is a choice. And if you choosing to love someone, you're not going to be all rainbows and pixie dust all of the time. And that's why mature people can love others in spite of, because you've made that choice. Because you're never going to be that perfect partner or parent or sister or whatever. You're never gonna be that perfect anything. And so that the people in your circle that choose to love you, decide to love you, are choosing to, even though you piss them off, even though you may hurt their feelings. It's a choice. And I think that we erroneously just put conditions around it. And so love, ultimately what it is, maturated, is unconditional.
But I think, to your point though, if it's a choice, then people can just turn it off. If love is a choice, then when people break up, it can be, all right, I now have no emotional time.
I choose, but I can still love you though, Alex. I can still love you to not be a part of your life.
But to your point, making it a choice, right? It's not something that you can turn on and off. You might have treated me like shit, but for whatever reason, I still love you. It takes time, right? So that's what I'm saying. I think, I'm not going to say the true love and all the other stuff, but I think, I'm only going to speak to me like in a marriage or being in a relationship for a long time. There are moments when we have been in love, and there are moments when you're out of love, but I still love you, right?
It's a choice.
I can't even say it's a choice.
You're choosing, but you're choosing that, Alex, though.
She's saying it's unconscious. She says unconsciously that you still love or even hate that person.
Or the conditions change, which makes it conditional.
Which
That's what I'm saying.
But wait, hold on.
Because even to get to that point where you are so deeply in love with somebody, they did something for you.
Right.
They did something that filled you. So that's not unconditional. It's
So,
still
okay, so
something for you. So if they stop doing those things that made you fall for them the first time, out of there.
Okay, so let's take in love versus not in love, right? Let's take it off the plate. If it is unconditional love, right? I love you, whatever the case is. Let's say me and you, Gary, were in a relationship and you treated me like shit because you said your ass, but whatever, right? You may have broken my heart. We broke up. I made the choice to no longer be with you, right? That does not mean that automatically my love for you is done. Like,
correct.
Like that.
Correct. I'm agreeing with you, Alex, in that regard.
That's what I'm saying with that part. When you spoke about, and I have heard parents say, like, I don't love my children. But we've also heard people say, like, I don't like this person, but I love you because you are my child.
Correct.
So I don't think in those situations you are unconditional. There are people who say, I don't like my child's father. I don't like them anymore. We're no longer together, but I love them because they are my child's father. So maybe that's where the condition is in. I love you because of the role that you play. So I do think there is a slight difference, but I don't believe
that shit go away.
It doesn't go away. So
it's not immediate, is what I'm saying. It's not immediate.
It's not immediate, but it does eventually go away. You could say, oh, I was so in love with my ex. I went ahead and got a new nigga. You fell for the new nigga. You don't love that old nigga. No, you
can though, Mary, but no, you can.
You
can define as love.
You can still care about somebody. You can still care about somebody in their presence.
People call that love.
You're gonna be, kind of sad if they die or whatever the case may be.
People call that love.
That even though you were in love with them, that doesn't mean that that you can't call that love all the time.
Some people call that love. Here's what I'm saying to you.
Because you still care about how somebody's doing.
Correct.
Some die and shit, but other than that, like, I don't know who the fuck.
We're talking over each other.
Yeah, well, I think what Alex drove home was that love maybe isn't a choice. Because if you ever had your heart broken, you wish you didn't love that person anymore. It might kill you a little bit, things of that nature. But I don't think love is that conscious where you could just simply choose or
But
choose
just put
not
it
to
up.
love.
Right.
Yeah,
I
you
think you
can.
get one unconditional love in life.
What is
Like
it?
that one person that you could like never forget. And like
Okay.
Mary said, you care about no matter what, even though you've moved on. Because outside of that, I would say your kids would be next in line in terms of that unconditional love.
I don't think that shit real.
I think the
I don't
only
think that's
unconditional
really
love
because
that's really, really real is the love for yourself. And if you can't love yourself
That's it.
unconditionally, you cannot pour it into others. And so many people do not love themselves unconditionally. Like you need to love yourself unconditionally.
Yep.
I agree with that too. So I'm gonna just answer the question right now, real quick, because I felt myself kind of veering off, and I can answer all of the other statements. I do want to address them, but I want to just definitely address this question. True or false? Women love conditionally, men don't. I think it's both. I think it's both men and women love conditionally as we define love and know love. It is with conditions. I have heard on this podcast from men on this podcast stating women gain weight, get fat, or we want women and we marry and we wife women that can bear us kids. I've heard that on this podcast before. That's a condition. So if she can't bear kids and she's not viable to procreate, then I don't really want her because she's unviable, she's undesirable. I've heard that. And so that's conditional. So men absolutely love conditionally because of that. And I've heard people on this panel plus others say that. Women love condition, and I want to add on to that before I move on to the women part. Men can love and stay in a marriage, but still choose a younger model because the other older model that they married and chose to marry got fat and out of shape, or don't just look the same way that they conditioned to love when they first met them, and or their attitude changes. So men can choose to go someplace. They still love their fat, out of shape, bad attitude wife, but they still choose to get another younger model on the side. So for the woman part, women love conditionally too, but men can't have them both ways. Y'all want to be the leaders in society. Y'all want to be the leaders and us shut up and don't say anything. And so that's a part of the role you play. So yes, we may love you conditionally because you want to be set up as the leaders. You want to set up as the providers. You want to be set up as the know-it-alls and everything else. Fine, that's your role. When you can't do that anymore, okay, I don't love you anymore, because that's how you set yourself up to be that way. Set yourself up to be that leader, provider, protector, all of that. If you can't provide that, oh well, that's your fault. You can't have it both ways. So pick and choose a side, men.
So lost. Okay.
Yeah, Asia it gets a little bit weird when you can't
I'll explain to you later, baby.
when you can't hold women accountable for some reason. It's weird.
No, you can hold us accountable. We can both be held accountable. Again, it's how you define love between the units. And if you choose to define that way of loving another based upon X, and for whatever variable X changes into Y, you choose to still love that person that you decided to love from the beginning because there was something core to them. Now, X may have got a little bit fatter. The X may have gotten a little bit chubbier and whatever, gone through life, but you still choose. The X may have gotten a little bit gray or shady, but you still choose because the core of who they are is still the same. And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, are you doing math right now?
What'd you say, Eddie?
Are you doing math? You lost me, son.
Yeah. You later. Don't worry about it. I'll talk to you later.
MX plus Y equals B and shady and rusty. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. It got slightly the points got lost. You like, oh, if men want to lead, then nigga, you better like why? Like it's just so superficial and one sided. Like, oh nigga, you want to lead? So if you don't, I'm out of here. Come on, bro. Like, let me hold this.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Like, come on, man. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what I think. Anybody got another point on this one? Yeah, I think the conditions manifest differently. So like the provisions that men provide, when like the points that agents made, they don't change. right? So the man is going to pay the bills. He's going to do those things that you expect him to do. But then as women age, the provisions that we care about, I think Christine said it best, like her beauty and things of that nature begin to fade. But we still provide the same things when the women can't, to a certain extent, or if they gain weight or whatever the case is, or if they want to stop having sex or whatever the case is. But men continue to provide the same provision we provided from day one.
Except loyalty.
And get a younger
Balance.
model at the same
There's
time.
a balance. And then we don't leave. Men don't leave.
You're right. You don't leave, but you get somebody on the side.
So men don't leave. Right? See, I mean, so how do we qualify this? How can we say men are so conditional, but we're not leaving these?
That's your condition. You're measuring your conditions by that's your measuring stick. Like
naming the that we all just named. That's the ones I use.
I'm just saying men are not leaving, but men are stepping out. They're just choosing to stay married because it's cheaper to keep her. It doesn't mean that but they have also stopped doing the things that they were doing for their wife.
That's
all. Paying the bills.
Cheaper to keep her, but there's also
I'm
like
not talking about paying the bills. I'm not talking about paying. I'm talking about paying attention to your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she could also not be paying any attention to him. I
But
think
we have
more
to-
men are more loyal to the relationship
I feel
and
you.
the marriage than women are. 85% of women initiate divorces.
We're not.
85%.
My question is for Eris. Eris, is it that they're stepping out, or is that human nature?
It depends, because my thing is, I'm all for, if you want to have an open marriage, I'm cool, whatever. But you have to know yourself, and that goes back to loving yourself. Like, if you know that you are somebody that's gonna be out here and be open, and you're honest with yourself and your spouse about that, cool. Like, I have a lot of friends that's in polyamorous relationships. It doesn't matter to me, but it's what the two people agree on. If we have an agreement, if we have a conversation in the beginning of our marriage, and you telling me that you want to be monogamous, if something changed, you need to tell me so we can have a conversation about it. See if we both agree. Like,
so, open marriage, though, isn't that like when both people get to do what they want to do?
That's polygamy. Polyamory would be a woman only.
So, but she has open marriage. Like
but she's saying polygamy.
An open marriage is both ways. I mean, it's open, but no, I'm not even gonna say that, because it might not be. It could be open. It could be an agreement that maybe one wants to be open and the other one is like, whatever, I don't care, and they just would rather be with that person. But whatever works for you. But if you didn't tell me that, and you, like, even if that's your nature, you need to know yourself enough to know that's who you are and have that conversation. But people don't talk about that.
In that small pool of men that you were talking about earlier, if you met a guy who was a great catch and he was forthcoming, he told you he gonna have side bitches, but that it ain't got nothing to do with love, would you accept that?
It depends on the terms of the agreement. Like, it depends.
We want answers. I want the truth.
How much money he got?
So
How
my
much
thing
he got?
So my thing is this: like, I cannot say yes, and I can't say no, because I'm a person that's been married before, and I had all these rules and stuff about some shit, and then I'm like, now I'm not that person. I'm not saying I necessarily want an open marriage, but I don't know. Like, I can't say I don't know. Have I entertained dating somebody that's in an open marriage? Yes, I have thought about it. But my question was, it comes back to me. I had a conversation with that man, and I said, do you have time for me? How many other women are you dating? Because I know what I want. If I do this, I know what I want. So if we have to have that's what I'm saying. It has to be conversations. Like, I can't give you a definitive yes, no. It's a case by case basis.
That's fair. Yeah, now they even defined all that too. So, like, both ways, polyamory is the woman only, and polygyny is the man only. So I was talking to some woke gay niggas. They told me that. So, shout out to them. Interesting. Man, love is. I don't know. I got one question, real quick. Yes or no? Is love good and is hate bad, Chief?
Yes.
So love is good and hate is bad. Yes. Okay. Asia.
Yes.
Chef.
I'll say no.
B.
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Ayers,
No.
Mary,
No.
Q.
Yes.
We're gonna break that down. We actually broke that down on a previous episode, but I don't know. I always like to come back to that because there's so many opinions on it. Because I came to this conclusion that I don't know if love and hate are opposites because they both involve, especially for a person that you loved before. I think what really shows when you don't have any type of feeling for that person is indifference. I feel like love is and indifference might be the opposite as opposed to hate. But I'm talking about in like loving relationships. You know what I mean? Like I hate rapists and pedophiles, no doubt about that. They ass is grass, but you know. So listen, man, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. This has been an awesome dialogue and conversation. I feel like I learned a lot, even if I was pushing back. Y'all some smart niggas, man. I don't care what they say about black people. Y'all all right with me, man. I'm telling you. Listen, I don't really like Jerry Springer, but I do like one of his constructs, Chef Eddie. Final thought.
The Jezebel spirit is strong. Watch out for her.
Why you talking like Yoda? Asia.
Men are hoes. Be careful.
B. You muted.
Bruh.
Oh yes, final thought. Yes, final thought. Men, find a group of men to hang out with. See, find you a group of people who you can learn from, and don't be a beta. Men are not whores. Jesus loves you, and everyone have a good night.
Alex.
Everyone can't be an alpha male. And be realistic and honest with your dating pool.
Can I go last? I want to give the people something to go home with. I got
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
All right. Mary.
Do what you want. These niggas gonna call you a hoe anyway.
Ayers in the background cheering and shit. Ayers.
You know, unconditional love starts with self. That's all I got.
Say it one more time.
Unconditional love starts with self.
Word. Chris.
Love yourself. Stay true to yourself. Don't lower your standards. And just, love is love. I don't know.
Q.
You already know what the fuck going on. You know what I mean? Up for the shirts. You know what I mean? Yeah, live and walk in your motherfucking truth. And like Alex said, everybody can't be an alpha.
Word. Chief.
I wanted to send everybody home with this question because we had this conversation on my joint. Have any of you, when you define love, have you ever given or received love in the way you would define it? And for most of us, we haven't.
Yeah, one time. I want to make sure I got it.
So I want you to create your definition of love, whatever love looks like to you, and then ask yourself, have you loved someone the way you would define it? Have you received love the way you would define it? And I think all of us have a different interpretation of love based on how we were raised and so on and so forth. And more often than not, none of us have given or received love in the way we would define it.
Damn, that's interesting. I'm gonna break that down. I think you're right. I will say, if you're still out in these streets, men, thank God for modern feminism. because you don't have to give them shit. They giving up the box. They want to pay their own bills. They don't want to get married. They want to protest wars. Let them have it. See how much fun it is getting beat up and shot at and punched in the face. You know what I mean? For the war part, Chris, the war part. So yeah, shout out to modern feminism. Chef Eddie and B, have at it, man. It should be easy pickings out here to get what you want. But nah, all jokes aside, I really appreciate everybody's opinions. I think this was super substantive. I think that we need to check some of that though, in terms of, you know, all right. I get it. Everybody want to be expressive, but just think about how has holistically as a culture, our people, we have been going the other way. We have been, because of how we've been expressing ourselves out here, whether it be rapping and gangster rap or horror culture, you know what I mean, or the Instagram models and things of that nature. I don't see us doing better. So I just wanted to do an overall assessment of our culture and what we champion, because I wanted to go a different direction. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we out.
Damn, this microphone you got, is it brand new?
Yeah, that shit was horrible the whole show.
It was going in and out the entire